I tried to record this yesterday and my audio was off, which is why, like off as in there was literally no sound, which is why I didn't upload it. And then it's still having issues today. So if the sync seems a little bit off, that is why. I need to figure out what the hell's going on. But for now, let's look at Harpoon. Harpoon is a 9. It's a pretty juicy 9. It has footwitches, but they're isolated, so they're not chained together to complete like a set of 4 notes. So it's really common for me to drop the second notes of these. There's some brackets as well, and there's like some crossovers here and there, but with these, the easy thing to do is they come in pairs, right? What's happening is, I've talked about this in another video, but you hit this with your right, you hit this with your left, and what's happening is you're not getting your foot off of the panel soon enough. So by the time your right foot comes to this, if your left foot is still pressing that panel down, the second note of the foot switch is going to drop. Same thing here with the opposite foot. You'd hit this with your right foot. If your right foot is still on the panel by the time that this second note comes around, it's going to drop. And I'm going to come to the top here just to like add some notes to demonstrate kind of what I'm thinking about in terms of how to avoid it. Let's go down a little bit further. There's just an example pattern. When I think about, and I'm not like actively thinking about this, but I do break down my steps into 2 like types of steps. One is a step where I press a panel and then I have my foot lift off of it so it's prepared to come to another note. Another type of step is kind of like a down step where there's no more arrows for that foot to hit. So it's okay for it to hit the panel and stay planted on there, almost like a hold. In this type of pattern, these 3 are kind of full steps, moving to new notes. This would be a step that you can stop, or like a down step, and this would also be a down step because it's kind of like the end of the phrase. If you think about it, if you isolate and don't even look at these 2 notes, right? Your right foot is playing this pattern where it needs to stay moving to hit those 3 notes. Bum, bum, bum. And only once it reaches the end here can you put your foot down and leave it there, right? So this step, you press it, it needs to bounce up away from the panel. That way it goes to the next note. This right arrow also needs to be pressed and come up. And then once you get to the up arrow, that's when you can stop. Right. Same for the left arrow, but only for 2 notes. Right. This left arrow needs to be pressed in a way where you lift up, but then once you get to this one, since there's no more notes kind of coming after, then it's okay for this foot to stay planted. So overall, it's, 1, 2, 3. This one can stop. This one can stop. And then, so in terms of how that applies to the foot switches, let's go back to where some of these are. You need to think about this note as not just, I don't want you to look at these and just be like, you see these 3 notes, and then you can do, in this case, the left foot would need to make its way to the down arrow, so you could do bum, bum. You don't want to get to a point where you see this note on its own and say, oh, it's on its own, left, right, left, where this right foot stays planted. You need to look at this pattern as not just the foot switch, but the pattern that comes after it. So rather than looking at this foot switch as its own thing, think about how are you going to get your right foot from here to here. And the only way that that's going to happen is if as soon as you hit this panel, you lift it in a way where it can start moving in this direction. And then the one thing that's going to actually make it easier is if you actually know that this foot stops. Because now that you're planted on this panel, it's good because now you have your weight on one foot. And so the foot that was on here is able to move freely to make it to here. Yeah, like I say that you need to get off of the panel as soon as you can, but I don't think you should be doing that for every single note in the foot switch, right? Because if you're scared of dropping notes in a foot switch, but then you say, okay, well, I'm gonna get off of the panel and lift my foot after every step, you're gonna be like, I don't know, like avoiding obstacles that aren't there. Like, I don't know, you look stupid, just like, look at it. I don't know how to describe it, man. Like, you're basically gonna literally be in the air rather than kind of having one foot down to support your body. So that is my advice on this. Let's look at this section again. Took it down. My foot is really floating through that. Took it down. And these, I know this is a 9. Oh, the rhythm changes. I guess even for these, it's the same idea where you can't look at this as its own and then end up dropping this note because you planted this foot down. You want to take this right foot and think about how you're going to step on this arrow in order to float your foot over to this arrow. If you think of these as isolated and only execute them as this group of 2, it's going to drop. If you think about how to move from this arrow to this arrow, it should be good. Generally with these, it's easier to avoid misfiring. Not misfiring. It's easier to avoid dropping notes on the down arrow foot switches, harder on the up arrow foot switches. Pretty popular opinion. I'm sure there's other things in this chart. There's some crossovers. I saw some brackets, but they're not too intimidating. This isolated foot switch pattern comes up a lot. Ooh, and then there's side switches. Wait, that's actually crazy. I'm actually seeing this for the first time. I was about to stop the video. Can I cheat those? Oh man, this video took a turn. Okay. I don't know how this was meant to be done. Given that this entire chart is foot switches, I'm assuming it's possible to... Yes, it's possible to do this. This would be hit with your right foot, and then this would be hit with your left foot. You're facing right the whole time. But it is possible to cheat them by doing this as right, left, left, right, left, left, and then same for the one that came in earlier. Left, right, right, left, right, right, as like a parada. But you just need to make sure that you don't leave this foot planted. So you want to make sure it's bouncing. And that's honestly good. That's good fundamentals anyways, to make sure that your left foot is moving fluidly in a quarter note, using the full space from here. Arrow vortex. Taking the full space to move from here to here. Here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and this side switch would be... You would be facing left. This would be hit with your left. This would be hit with your right. And then this would be hit with your left. I'm assuming that they're side switches, but cheatable for sure. That's how I would do it. But if you wanna do the form, this one is. These are all seem to be done with your heels. Ooh, man, good thing I didn't stop that video early. I would have never seen the side switches. So this is a hard 9. I hope this is... Oh my goodness. Is there any other juice in here that I'm missing? No, I think that's it. If you're working on this one, I hope it's a juicy 9. I hope you get rewarded heavily for this. Because this is definitely... There's some technique in this. That's for sure. Awesome. If that was helpful, let me know. Sorry about the video drop yesterday, but man, I already recorded. You already know I record these videos at minimum at 11 p.m. I had actually already uploaded the last video, typed in a YouTube description, and also scheduled it. And then after I reviewed the video, after it was already uploaded for yesterday, I noticed that there was no game audio. So at that point, I was like, dude, it's game over. I'm not recording this video again. But yeah, thank God I didn't upload that one, because then I would have never seen the side switches that are thrown at the end. Man, that's some juice. Who wrote this? Is this also with 3 heals? They're all with 3 heals, it seems like. They're all facing in. Anyways, that was a more eventful Dance Games Daily than I expected. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.